Hey everybody, this is Always Dizzy. In this video, I want to discuss 3 handicaps that I've implemented on myself. And I don't want to I don't want to push this onto other people and say that this is why you should also do this. Um, because it's more of a personal thing. If you want to copy me and do this as well, that's great. But I'm more going to talk about on why I'm doing this instead of why you should be doing this. Okay, so the first one here, and you can tell I'm getting old because I have a list on the other screen as if I forget them. Okay, so with let's start off with Zen mode. Okay, so Lichess has a mode called Zen mode that you can. It's been a while since I've done it. You can toggle it in your settings, but you can also do it. Can you not do it from here? I guess you can do it once you're in a game. Let me try making a game. Oh, sorry, that's not what I want. I want to do it with a computer. What I would just go 10 and standard and play here. Play with a computer. Okay, so in Zen mode, will it let me do it against a computer? Oh, I don't think it will. Okay, so I can't show you here, but there is, or is it from here actually? Oh, here it is. Sorry, it's under the top right hand settings, which you can't see on my screen. But in the top right hand corner, there is. If you click on your username, and then at the bottom there's something called Zen mode. If you click on it, like I did just now, this is Zen mode, and what it does is, apart from removing some of the UI, it removes, if I go back here, it removes the your opponent's rating and username, but mainly their rating. A lot of players I've heard, like on the chess subreddit, they get intimidated by their opponent if their opponent is rated higher than they are. It happens to me too. I mean, it's kind of a natural thing. You know, if your opponent is rated 200 points higher than you, like if I'm paired up against a 2350 player, it's going to be scary, and it might change how you play. The reason I don't use Zen mode is because I don't like to do anything because my ultimate goal is always to perform in over the board tournament play. So that's always my ultimate goal. And so I don't want to do anything that will make me rely on these crutches, as I call them, that I won't be able to carry over to over the board tournament play. And this is one of them, the Zen mode. Because if you're playing over the board tournaments, you're going to know who you're playing, and you might not. It's possible you might not know their rating, but a lot of the time you will, or you'll know that they're a top player and so on. The point is, if you get used to doing this online, okay, it might be great online, but when you play over the board tournaments, that might just set you up for even bigger failure, because maybe you get really psyched out now that you know your opponent is like 300, 400 points higher than you. So you have to learn to live with it. So that's why I don't do Zen mode. Next up is board coordinates. So very similar. Again, you can turn this on or off in your settings, so or preferences. So I guess where is it here? Coordinates here. So you could choose how you have them. So did my time run out? No, I'm not sure why it did that sound. But you can see them on screen here, the coordinates. And I think if you're like brand new to chess, it's fine to have them. But I remove them because I don't want to rely on them. I don't want to be like, okay, E6, okay, E6 right here. Now, the funny thing is, and let me just turn that off before I forget. Off, right? Okay, so the funny thing is, on most boards at over the board tournaments, they will have the the annotated column um, and rank labels. The wooden boards won't, but my tournaments only like the top boards on in the nicer tournaments have them. So usually only the title players get them. The vinyl or plastic roll up mats will have them on there. But the other reason I don't have this feature on is because I just don't want to rely on it. You can learn the square, I don't know what you call them, not names, but you can learn basically the notation. Sorry, I don't know the right terminology here, but where all of the squares are and the correct notation by removing them and not relying on them. So you're not always just with your eye following, okay, B4, like bingo, B4, it's slow because you rely on it. So if you're watching a YouTube video or reading a book or whatever, you're not, okay, there. You're going to have to work harder, and you'll be like, okay, B4 right here, G5 and so forth. It's just, it makes you work more, and it will help ingrain it into your brain more. That's my logic anyways. I don't like to have handicaps like that. So that one is kind of controversial. I know some people, when they watch my stream, they wish I had it on because it helps them, and I understand that. So, but I still feel. Plus, I think it's more aesthetically pleasant to look at the board without that on. But mainly, I feel it makes you work harder, and it makes you learn the notation better. Now, the last one I think is actually the most important and the most useful of the three handicaps that I've placed on myself, or the crutches that I've removed. And I actually just implemented this last night for the very first time ever. I've been thinking about doing it for about a year, but I finally did it. And that is, well, I'll show you here. Let's see if you notice. Let's just see if you notice here. Oh, okay, there you go. So right here, did you notice anything different? Anything different about the UI? Probably not, but there is a difference here. What I did was I turned off the material differential. So often you'll notice that when there's a difference in piece equality, like material equality, in terms of the standard numerical values, there would be like +1 or like a pawn symbol. I forget what it is. Is it just a number? Yeah, it's got to be just a number, right? So it's like a pawn +1 or something. I've turned that off. Again, I wanted to do that about a year ago, but I always kind of chickened out because I do use that. I rely on that a lot in my games, especially when I'm down on time. I will glance over, I will look at the material differences, be like, okay, oh, I'm up a pawn, or I'm up a knight. It's just easy to see, like you can just look at it instantly and be like, okay, I'm up material, I should just trade down or whatever. It makes you a little bit lazy. And again, the reason I turned this off, and I'm going to keep it off now in the future, and I feel proud of myself for doing so, is because again, over the board tournaments, if you're playing over the board, no one is going to be telling you, okay, you're up a pawn, you're up 2 pawns, or you need to do that yourself. You need to look at the board as a whole and you could count manually, or you can just like look at the board. And the point is, you should always know that or figure that out on your own. You shouldn't have to rely on a third party online internet feature to tell you that. So again, this might be kind of a controversial video. You may agree or disagree with me. That's why I'm not really pushing it on anyone. But for me, I really believe in this, especially this third one, this material differential. And I'll just show you where you can set that. If you go to the top right-hand corner and go to preferences, material difference here. In chess.com, I think you can't turn that off, unfortunately. It's not a toggle. What can I say? But yeah, for lead chess, I have it as off. And I'm really proud of myself for doing that. As I say again, it's I feel like a big boy now, you know. And I've kind of noticed it too. Like I've noticed myself being like, wait, I thought I was up a pawn, and then I realized, oh yeah, I turned that thing off. So those are my three things. You can let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with my logic here. But I thought I'd share that with you. Okay, thanks for watching. Goodbye.